Savvy investors know that not only is ESG an essential part of preserving our planet and society, it also reduces risks for investors whilst posting good returns. Not bad, right? I'm Lindsay Douglas from Insync, and today I'm going to share with you our rather unique way of addressing ESG. Let's face it, there's a lot of strong polarised views on these issues, but profits too are important. So how can we balance all of it in a sensible way? Insync follows a path less travelled by others by using an empirical and transparent process to address ESG. It vastly reduces our personal bias, it avoids what we call sledgehammers, and it places ESG at the very centre of how companies even get considered worthy of Insync investors. As we get older and wiser, we discover that it's in the shades of grey that life functions, not purely the black and white. Do you not invest in, say, the production of nuclear isotopes, even if they're essential in life-saving medicine? Do you no longer invest in food retailers where you buy your groceries every week because they also collect 0.5% of their profits from selling government-authorised cigarettes? Or do you forego the benefits that planes deliver to your life because the company that makes them also produces aircraft for national defence? Those ideas are probably quite worthy for debate, yet the real world impacts are a little more difficult to navigate as an investor. Most fund managers and researchers that research them will just use a sledgehammer approach to address the problem. That sledgehammer is screening out rafts of industries or companies using simplistic identification of titles like weapons or fossil fuels or alcohol or so on. But is it smart? Let me explain. What if businesses operating in these examples are doing so, but only as a smaller part of their overall operations? What if they generated only a small part of their overall profit, but enabled other things in their business to do good? What if they're in the process of changing their business to avoid those more negative aspects? Should all of those businesses be deprived of capital? Insync simply doesn't believe in sledgehammers. Insync has always known since it began back in 2009 that very strong governance displayed by a company tends to produce a higher stock price over time, whilst also limiting its negative ESG traits. It's at the very centre of how we produce great returns. Companies exercising strong governance tend to avoid and reduce areas of ethically and scientifically proven poor operations that harm society. It's why even before we enacted a formalised ESG approach, we scored near the very top of ESG ratings held by globally recognised researchers. Life rarely pivots on a dime. Quality businesses shift over time away from poor activities. So we came up with a sensible way to address not only governance, but also the social and environmental impacts too. We score each company's degree of achievement on how they approach the E, the S and the G. A company can not only earn negative points, but can also earn positive points too. Only the companies that achieve the very highest final scores get considered for selection into our very selective portfolio. It's why companies that are mostly focused on gaming and alcohol and cigarettes, for example, don't appear because they simply score poorly on our system. We're realists at Insync, and this means we place materiality thresholds when assessing a company's exposure to negative things. We use a third-party firm to monitor our exposures to all of those companies we invest in every quarter, and that ensures that we remain inside the lines as well. Should a particular investment come down to a 50-50 call, then it's our ESG analyst and not our Chief Investment Officer that has the final say. By using an empirical and transparent process to address ESG, it vastly reduces our personal bias, it avoids those sledgehammers, and it places ESG at the very centre of how companies get qualified for Insync investors. We're audited and comply with the UN principles of ESG. This means we integrate ESG explicitly and systematically into our investment analysis and decisions, and that helps better manage risk and improve returns. We consider these factors. When it comes to social, Insync sees this as the relationship that a company has with all of its stakeholders. We even look at how employees, past and present, feel about their company and its culture. Management that's aligned with the needs of shareholders must be able to efficiently allocate capital too. In doing this, they are maximising their ROIC and their long-term prospects. Here are some of the factors that we study. World-famous Yale University has a brilliant global database tracking large businesses engaged with Russia since its Ukraine invasion. The list has over 1,000 companies in it, and they are graded into 4 different levels. You can check it out yourself. It's been very effective in helping the public and investors understand who is placing large profits before social issues of importance. Interestingly, Insync had just one stock on the list, and it was noted as operating but suspending new investment. Its profits generated from Russia are very small. Now, that governance approach is absolutely essential to reducing the likelihood of any companies we invest in showing up on lists like that. And no sledgehammers were required. Most importantly, our returns have not suffered because of all of this, but our risk has declined. And let's not forget those global scores where we've been placed very close to the top. Put simply, this approach works, and you can check out our website to learn more about it. With Insync, you can have both caring investments and good returns.